Hey guys, and welcome to the Pixel Replay podcast. I'm Zero, and I'm joined here today by Mike.
Hey.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about E3 today. Not the whole entirety of E3, but just some little games that happened and things. But yeah, I think we'll start off with Star Wars Battlefront 2. So what did you think to that?
Oh man, it looked great, but that's kind of a given. I wasn't
Yeah.
I wasn't the biggest fan of the first one. It was
No,
like
it was terrible.
too arcadey. Too many of the guns kind of felt too similar, and there wasn't enough content.
Yeah.
It was like a long running joke that EA let us play most of the game in the beta, and it really felt like it was true. So
Yeah.
this seems like it's a huge step up in all fronts.
I feel as if like they mainly went for mass chaos, and I kind of like that to an extent, but I also feel as if they went for it for a reason. To just I don't know, because like I know I've checked a couple of videos of stuff and things like checking out Easter eggs in it and stuff, and when you run right to the edge, where the little what is it called? The little bit of water at the side of the stream or whatever at the side.
The
Yeah,
moat?
if you run over to that, and then you look at the other side of the street, you can see civilians running away, which is pretty insane.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. And they also leave some battle droids on the ground stuff. So the details there. It's just to what extent. I feel as if they went for they say, oh yeah, we've listened to you and we've heard all of this constructive criticism. No, not constructive. This was just people saying your game's terrible and stuff like that. Well, I agree. I agree that last game was so terrible. It got everybody's hopes up and it turned into nothingness.
Well, I wasn't even much of a fan of the first two. I mean, they were good games, but I just didn't get into them for whatever reason.
When I was younger, I played the first one, and I really enjoyed that. And then the second one, something was really dodgy about the second one. Like, it wasn't as smooth. Like the textures, they weren't even conjoined. You know, like how they're like blurred together a little bit, so it kind of makes it a lot more smoother. They didn't do this with this. They were like so flipping like straight. The lines, they were like terrible. You like things were all so split apart that you could tell that they were completely different textures.
Oh yeah.
And they didn't really merge together well at all.
I mean, I played very little of the old ones, but even what little I played of them, I was able to tell that the last game was a step back.
Yeah, definitely a step back.
And then there was the leaked footage of what should have been released last gen of Battlefront 3, and that looked 10 times better, maybe not graphics-wise, but gameplay-wise, than what we got 2 years ago. That came out 2 years, right, ago?
Yeah, I think so.
And, it had some positive parts, but it was mostly in the graphics. But, there are too many of the same characters running around. And
the amount of hype, though, for not the new one, but the first new one, that one.
The one that we got.
Yeah, the one that we got, that was, everybody was hyping it up and like everybody made it look so good. The amount of YouTubers they got involved to flipping do videos on it. And I was watching them all and I was like, wow, this game looks amazing. I can't wait to get it. I get it. I'm like, wow, this is not as amazing as I thought. And they make it look like it's just this amazing game, but I can never trust EA because like I played it and I played it, and then one day out of nowhere they make some DLC add-on thing, right, that basically makes it so you unlock all weapons instantly. You unlock it. It's BS out of nowhere. It's stupid stuff.
Was that a microtransaction type thing? Like,
yeah. It was terrible. They added like a thing that just made it so you unlocked everything, and it cost like £15.
Yeah. Well,
terrible.
I'm not always against things like that if it's fair.
If
because
fair,
some people
don't
have time to spend time to unlock everything, so they're willing to spend the money to unlock everything. But if it turns into a play to win type thing,
I don't remember if they also added the weapons from like, because the Jabba the Hutt part where like they added the thing, so then you had to do achievements to basically get the weapons. When they added that, I was kind of happy. But then they released this thing, and I was like, well, this can't be it. This can't be right. If you actually could get the achievement weapons as well, that would just make this even worse.
yeah,
But I think EA is known for their microtransactions,
yeah,
like pack openings and flipping crate openings, everything like that. They are well known for that type of stuff.
yeah. Which
Um,
it's a
it's
nice
sad.
it's a nice well yeah it is sad. It's a nice change of pace though. That the one of the things that I love about what they showed with part two was that one they talked about it having 3 times the amount of content, which got an
Yeah.
applause, and that's a great thing.
Hmm.
But considering the lack of content in the original game, that wasn't
Yeah.
a huge hurdle to overcome. But beyond that, the thing that I love was that all the DLC is going to be free.
Yeah,
Eh,
that's the thing that I was creeped out by because I was like, this is EA. Wait, something must be wrong.
now, what I think it is if you remember, they said that if you pre-order it, you get the Yoda card.
Yeah.
Okay, I think. Have you ever played Halo 5?
No.
So Halo 5, and it's kind of along the same lines as GTA 5 Online,
Hmm.
where like Halo 5 has these rec cards that you can earn them in the game, or you can buy them with real world money, and
Wow.
you use these rec cards in
Are they a limited time use? Are they like burn cards from Titanfall, or are they different?
no, they're so in the firefight mode, or whatever the hell it's called in Halo 5. I don't really play that much Halo 5.
Yeah.
It's basically you earn in-game points by doing kills or completing objectives,
Hmm.
and then throughout the game you unlock different levels of recs that you can use. So if I have a level like if I have a sniper and it's a level 2 rec card, and then our team unlocks level 2 recs, I can go to a rec station and spend the in-game point currency on that rec card to
Oh,
earn. It's a nice system, and
it's
and
yeah.
it sounds complicated, and I probably can be explaining it better,
Yeah.
but it's not an unfair system because I've never spent a dime on any of these rec cards, but I always have them. They kind of like hand them out like candy in the sense of like in Battlefield when you get
Yeah, I know what
the
you mean. The
cases and stuff like that.
yeah, and the
It, it
cases and the what's the other thing? You get squad boosters and stuff.
yeah,
I've got loads of that. I've got like 10 of them. I haven't used them, and
yeah,
they're apparently legendary things to get. It's hilarious.
exactly. And it's exactly the same way in Halo. Well, I think they're going to do a similar thing with Star Wars, where you can earn in-game these cards, likely
Hmm.
these like hero cards, so you can be Yoda or Darth Maul or whatever.
To be honest, what I would like to see is not just like getting the cards so then you can become those characters. I'd like to see you actually have to unlock the characters with in-game currency, like in with Ubisoft's like For Honor, where like when you like they've added new characters recently, so
Yeah,
you can either like it's same with Rainbow Six Siege. You can actually buy the characters with in-game currency, which is kind of hard to get, or you can buy the DLC and get them all unlocked already. But I don't think they'll do that because they said that they're not letting you buy DLC for the game because there isn't any DLC.
exactly.
Did they say specifically that there was no DLC, or did they say you don't have to pay for content?
No, they said all DLC is going to be free,
Okay.
and I think
I,
they're
I
going to
wanna
offset the.
I really wanna see round this stuff because I really don't trust EA. I can't trust EA after what they've done to previous games.
Well, if they're following Microsoft's and Rockstar's, or look at Rockstar, with GTA 5 Online, you can buy
Hmm.
shark cards. I think they're called. which gives you in-game currency.
Yeah.
Or you can just do missions and do different what the hell the raids or whatever that not the raids, but the
Yeah.
you can do different missions or different jobs in GTA Online and earn money, or you can buy a shark card. All of the DLC in GTA 5 has been free. They have released a shit ton of content for GTA 5, and it's all been free. And they're making, I think last year they made $1 billion
Wow.
from GTA 5 alone or online alone.
And for not like adding DLC, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, I mean they added
Well, no, they add DLC, but like I mean, like for most
not
of the
paid
content
DLC.
being free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think there was some stuff that you could pay for, but I don't think it was anything serious.
No, yeah. Nothing
Nothing major to the game or anything.
Yeah, nothing that segments the user base. And
Yeah,
I think that's the important thing. If
I feel as if that's the only reason why EA's done this, because they had like a really split community on their last Star Wars game.
they're pretty bad with that, and I would say all their games. Like I haven't bought any of the DLC in Battlefield. I love Battlefield 1, but I haven't paid for any of the DLC in Battlefield 1 because they separate the user base. So if I buy a map pack and I want to play any of those maps on the map pack, I can only play those probably 4 maps in that map pack.
That's pretty sad.
And I don't understand why they went backwards, because Battlefield 3, at least on the consoles, you can mix and match all the different maps between all the different map packs. And if you didn't have a map from a map pack, then I think once that map got loaded in that rotation, you just got booted out of the server.
They definitely did it with Battlefield 4 as well. They split the player base with that as well.
I bought the what do you call it, the DLC pack or whatever.
Yeah.
That you spend an additional $50 and you get all the DLC. I gave them an additional $50 and never really played any. I played the new DLC maps a little bit, and then I just went back to the vanilla maps because rotating between the same 4 maps got old versus whatever 10 or 11 maps comes with the game.
I mean, literally with Battlefield 4 now, there's only 2 maps that are ever played. It's Operation Locker and the Siege of Shanghai. Those are the only ones ever played now whenever I go on.
That doesn't surprise me. I mean, I would not mind it if the next Battlefield game assuming that we're right with Star Wars Battlefront 2, that they use this card system that people can spend real money on, and that's how they're offsetting costs for the DLC. I wouldn't mind if they did that with Battlefield games. Just make all the DLC free, keep all the community together, and sell some kind of side bullshit, the loot crates or whatever.
Yeah,
and offset it that way.
The thing is, I don't know what they do with the loot crate things, because when they seem to have an issue with skins with this game, because they can't really just make any skins. And like one person was like, they say that they're not going to make ridiculous skins because they want to keep it. I don't know what the word is. Yeah, authentic, right. And then they go and let Ray be in the flipping droids. So it's like, I don't know. It's crazy still. But the amount of chaos in it, I love the chaos. But they've really tried to make it so it's the most chaotic game they've ever made or something. Because it's so amazing just seeing the amount of heroes allowed on the battlefield at once.
Yes.
Like, it's so cool to see. I really hope to see some of the main characters that were in the old game added, but just changed a little bit. They did add Han Solo, but Han Solo and Boba Fett, nobody wants to play those characters because they're not the new characters. We've been them before. So everybody's just been playing Darth Maul and Rey and stuff. I really do want to see the Emperor again, though. I just don't know what version of the Emperor it will be.
The Emperor was, at least from when I played in the original Star Wars Battlefront 2 years ago, was, I don't know. It wasn't he the one that did a spin move?
Yeah.
That just looks so stupid.
I know, it really does. It just looks hilarious. I mean, he doesn't look as menacing
No, not when he's flipping through the air like he's part of.
I know why they did that flip though, because in the movie he does it.
Yeah.
So they added like little Easter eggs from the movie into like their moves and stuff. But yeah, I feel as if chaos in a game is perfect if you can run it.
If it's controlled chaos.
Yeah, yeah, if it's controlled chaos. But yeah, I feel as if the thing is, EA has been releasing a load of games, and I think we're going to move on to the next game now, which is A Way Out.
Oh yeah.
I saw it and I was like, this is a great game. The split screen. This is an indie dev that made Brothers: A Tale of Two Sons.
Yep.
That was an amazing game. It had story. It had that aspect. It had that couch co-op kind of feel, and I really like that. The thing is, you could actually play it on your own. I swear down, you could play it with one controller and use both joysticks for each character.
Okay, yeah.
That was the thing, I think. I don't know whether I like that or not. I kind of do, but it's kind of confusing.
Wait, are you talking about A Way Out or?
No, A Tale of Two Sons.
Okay.
They made it so you could use both, just one controller for both characters.
Yeah.
I think they've changed that in this one. They basically made it so you have to play it with somebody else. I don't think it's online. You have to have them in your couch though.
No, you can do online. They said that you can do it online, but to get the true experience is intended for a couch co-op. Because I bet you $10 even when you play online, it's going to use the split screen function. And I wonder. There's no way that they have to force. There's no way they're going to force co-op. I don't think. I think that's going to be a big focus of it. So that means that either they're going to adopt a similar, like dual joystick control method, or they're going to have the other person run by an AI. And if it is run by an AI, I really hope that it's a good AI.
The thing is, when you played Brothers and stuff, that the only way you could play on your own is if you had both joysticks and stuff.
Yeah.
I don't think that they're going to add this with this one. I feel as if this one's just going to be purely you have to have at least two people.
You think they're going to force co-op? There's not going to be any single player?
I do feel as if they're going to have to force co-op, because the whole AI, I don't think the AI is going to be smart enough, and spending a lot of time on making an AI for your character, for just one character, depending on what, and also then you've got to pick what character you want to be and what character you want to be AI. It's just going to, I feel as if they're going to see it as too much effort and they're just going to send it out there as a thing. I feel as if that's why this game might die pretty quickly, because you need two people. Because I've seen a lot of games die, and this could be one of them if they don't involve some sort of computer generated. It won't work out. I don't think it can't.
I don't know. Man, that would be a huge mistake if they forced co-op, because this was, now I'm a co-op whore. I love co-op. Yeah. Anything with co-op, it will automatically earn my interest, and this was the surprise of the show for me. I expected Star Wars Battlefront 2. I expected a bunch of. I'd say this is the surprise of the show, right above how poorly rehearsed it was. And but yeah, it looks phenomenal. And it just, I love how they take the split screen co-op in many different ways, or the split screen just camera in many different ways. You got the camera, vertical, horizontal. You got different window sizes, and
being able to move while somebody else is in a cutscene.
Yes,
that is pretty insane stuff. I really like that. But that just leads to the fact of, okay, so what they've clearly done is made the camera angle just different for the cutscene. So that means that you can see yourself in the camera, probably. Most likely. If you're in the same kind of area as the scene that's taking place, you can probably walk behind the camera, not behind the camera, but in front of the camera, and see yourself.
Yeah.
And stuff.
I bet they
apparently. But yeah, you carry on.
I bet they keep you for the scenes that one person's in a cutscene and the other person can play. They probably prevent you from doing that. I mean, which is unfortunate because the one example they showed was the one player was in a cutscene holding his clothes naked, and the other person was up on the walkway.
Yeah. So you can't really see the other person, so they might just try and sneak by that entire idea, which is interesting.
But if they did allow it so that the playing character was able to move into the scene of the cutscene player, that can give some funny moments.
Funny moments. Yeah, that'll be perfect. I heard them say that they really want the player to get each person to get attached to their character specifically. So if your character comes up with an idea, you agree with your character, but if your character comes up with an idea, you agree with his character. It's that kind of thing. So you have to kind of make up your mind. I think there's some choices in there. One person wants to take a safer route, and the other person just wants to go all out in there, kind of thing. So when it comes to taking somebody out or something, one of them will be like, no, we shouldn't do this. And then the other person will be like, yeah, okay, I'm going to go quickly take him out, and stuff like that. And they won't listen to each other at times, and you can kind of feel the tension between them kind of at the same time. Seems interesting.
Well, yeah, the freedom that it seems like they allow, because in a game like that, it seems like you can easily pigeonhole yourself and, not in making it in limiting the amount of options you have, so there's no reason to replay through the game again. But they talked about and they showed examples of how you will have multiple options. And that can give a lot of replayability. That game just between the story, the maturity of the story, you can tell that they're trying to have an emotional impact with the characters.
It's all about that tone.
Yeah,
it's all about the tone of the game. It's even the colors in the game. When game developers make games, they always take everything into account, and that's why I like them so much. They take the lighting, they take the color scheme of buildings even, and just make it so that you kind of feel different emotions around areas and stuff. So you can make areas feel more damp than they are, or make them feel more cold. You can make other areas feel warm just by adding a fire, which is great. But yeah, I really do like the sound of that game. There's not too much to talk about with it, because it's not. They didn't really show too much. They showed a little bit of gameplay.
It comes out next year, right?
Yeah, I think so. But they added they did a thing where it's they showed gameplay of you being out of the prison. And I'm kind of thinking, wait, this game's called A Way Out, but most of the gameplay seems to be from outside of the prison and not just indoors.
I imagine the title has multiple meanings because
maybe
it's not just a way out of the prison, and I'm sure that's going to play a big part of it. But when you factor in the one character trying to meet up with his wife, looks like pregnant wife or ex-wife, or at least trying to see his daughter, I can see it being on top of a way out of the prison, but also a way out of that lifestyle.
Yeah. I feel as if, you're right with that. I think it's, I feel as if, games with more of a meaning than just the name, it kind of gives that feeling to the game to make it a bit more of an authentic game. But yeah, I feel as if now we should move on to, EA. I think it's EA. No, this is Microsoft, that's it. And talk about the Xbox One X. What a name.
Yeah. There's a lot that can be said for that system. And I think the name is one of the worst things for me.
I mean, they made it so similar to the Xbox One S. It sounds so similar. So, if your kid says, hey, can I have the new Xbox One X, right? And then the parent's like, oh, yeah, sure, goes to the store, says, what did he say again?
Yeah.
This one's cheaper. This one's cheaper, so I'm going to get this one. It's kind of that thing. It's a really bad choice. I mean, I don't even understand it as well, because Xbox One X, you've already got the Xbox in there.
Well, yeah, their whole thing, and I think it's equally stupid, is that there's no power greater than X. I think that's a line from something else too.
Yeah, it probably is.
It's just, it's kind of unfortunate because it's a stupid name. It's probably the only real thing about the system I don't like. But they didn't really have many other options. Ideally, and they said this in an interview, that they were considering, or they would have liked to have used Xbox One Elite, but they already have an Xbox One Elite SKU.
Oh.
So, yeah, I think it's like a 2 terabyte Xbox One or something. It's a Xbox One that's better than the base model.
I feel as if the next Xbox name should be Xbox Infinite. If it isn't Xbox Infinite, then I don't know where they went wrong, because they could have came with that easily.
Yeah. Well, they're going to drop the one name for the next Xbox. They have to.
Yeah. They have to.
But yeah, I can see them using something. Exactly, and I can see them using something like Xbox Infinite or Xbox Next or something. I mean, no matter what, it's going to be stupid.
People seem to be really happy though that they're just giving you little boosts of the Xbox One. So they're being like, okay, so here's the normal Xbox One, here's the Xbox One S, and here's the Xbox One X. They're all just a little bit of a boost, and then the Xbox One X is like a massive boost. 4K flipping 60 FPS, which is what it should have been, to be honest. If you're getting a console, I feel as if you expect that quality.
Yeah.
You expect to be able to run every game that you buy.
Well, yeah. Now, and that's the great thing. I mean, I think there's such a wide range of expectations and stuff, because not every game is going to be 60 FPS, and I've seen plenty of people disappointed, trolling, slamming, or just unhappy when a game, because the vast majority of the games are going to be 30, and unfortunately there's aspects of the X that aren't enough of a leap, like the CPU specifically, where it can just boost everything to 60. And I mean, I think overall they did good. I'm not too fond of the look of the system is okay. I think the S looks better with the black and white than the charcoal black or gray look that they got with the X. And going back to the name real quick, another bad part of the X, now you highlighted it perfectly, where if someone asks their parents to buy them Xbox One X and they go in and they see the S is cheaper, they're more than likely to get that and not be able to tell the difference. And that's another drawback of that name, because you can tell just by the name between the PS4 and the PS4 Pro that the Pro is the better system. But when you look at the Xbox One S and Xbox One X, you can easily mistake, unless you pay attention or you keep track of the gaming industry and news, that you couldn't just by glance or by name tell which one is better.
I feel as if the game, the name, right? Everything about the name, it should be something completely different than just a letter. They made the Xbox One S because S is small, I guess.
Small,
I guess it means small.
Slim.
Yeah. X, they didn't need to do that. They didn't need to just add another letter one. I mean, to be honest, when you see it, the X kind of looks pretty cool because it's the same style as the S with like a little gap in it and stuff. But I mean, apart from the style, overall, it's just a bad name. Yeah. I mean, I could come up with a million names that are just better than just X. I mean, the Xbox One Fusion would sound pretty cool.
Well, yeah, I mean, I can see. So, when it comes to naming, I think it was with Nintendo and the Revolution with the Wii and stuff like that.
Yeah.
They covered a lot of whenever it came down to naming a console, because you have to think about how does that name translate worldwide through multiple different languages. Yeah. You have to think about just, you want to keep the amount of syllables down to a bare minimum.
Actually, yeah, that's a point, because if you make it worldwide and you have to change the language and stuff, maybe like the thing is with Xbox and stuff, the name would stay the same because it's more of a title than just a word.
Yeah. And so like they said that Scorpio was never considered just because
Yeah,
of those challenges. Because I know plenty of people that thought Scorpio was a better name.
yeah,
And
Scorpio's 100% a better name,
yeah,
either way.
I think it's a better name, but I don't know if
Worldwide,
that
it could be
worldwide
an
if it'll
issue.
work better. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's it's a good system. If I didn't have a computer if I didn't have a high-end computer,
Mm.
and I would definitely be interested in an X. I full stop. The hardware's impressive. They've kind of gone all out. The engineering is impressive. I think it's
Yeah.
going to have, and whenever it comes to whatever console I like to play on, I usually like to get, like the system that gets the best version of games and stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's really what it all comes down to. It's just what the games that you're going to play on it. And
Yeah, and also like exclusives and things. Everything comes into account when you're buying a game console. It's all about which games do you like more and what console you personally think runs it better.
yeah, even though
Because
there's
like I mean the Xbox when that came out versus the PS4 everybody was like graphically it's better, but with the Xbox they were like with the power of the Xbox the power's better.
which one are you talking about, the
Like
original or the X?
just the Xbox, just Xbox One original, the first Xbox One.
Okay, because most of the games did look, and I mean, performance-wise, it was a wash many of the times. You know what I mean? Like there was very few times that there were those moments, but when going through like game analysis and stuff like that, the, uh, the performance was neck and neck. But then after that, you would be getting um, slightly higher. You could be getting higher resolution on the PS4 and sometimes better effects. But the performance, you had those very isolated games like Assassin's Creed Infinite that ran
Yeah,
slightly better on the Xbox One. Um, I'm struggling to
yeah,
think of other games. Oh, at least in the beginning, Battlefield 1 ran slightly better on the Xbox One, but I
yeah.
think they ironed
I
that out.
heard though that like graphically with the Battlefield One, the PS4 did it better with graphics,
Yeah.
specifically with that game. Um, because I was watching somebody play that game and they were like, well, if you're going to get it on any console, I mean, overall, the PS4 is for graphics, but like, if you want to be able to run it the most like smooth out of all of them, Xbox seems to be the more powerful in a
No,
way. I mean, well, when it comes to, I think the power levels are all the same, but I mean, I don't
the
know.
performance-wise, they're the same.
Yeah, yeah,
It's like two sides of a coin. Because there's performance and then there's graphics, and they're in some kind of ways.
there's even looks if you really want to just go for like looks and stuff with a console, but that's
Oh
like
yeah, yeah.
just a
There's.
specific. Yeah,
I mean, with that in that category, I think the original Xbox One looks like, and that's what I have. I don't have a Slim. I have an original Xbox One, and the thing looks like a 1980s VCR. The thing is
yeah,
huge.
it's
Um,
massive.
it's definitely over-engineered. You can tell that, and that's one thing that Microsoft does. They kind of go extremes.
Yeah,
You can tell that the Xbox One is a reaction to the Red Ring. That
yeah,
the thing is covered in vents. It and we didn't hear, there was no Red Ring issue. You
yeah.
had your
Personally, mine keeps overheating, so I
that's
just
fine.
like get it.
I got a
Sounds like
buddy
it's
that
taking off
I
every
got
single time.
I got a buddy that his died, but I think he went through an Xbox, a PlayStation. He, like everything he touches just dies. He's got some kind of weird electronic killing power. But
It's great.
yeah, I mean the X looks great. It really does. I want a
The name
Pro.
is the only thing we can really poke fun at, but
Yeah, I like everything
overall,
else.
for a console, it's good.
And
But for a PC, compared to a PC, it's still not good enough. Compared to a decent PC, it's still not up to standards. But
yeah,
for a console, it's
I think if you were, because some PC gamer, I think maybe tried to put together a PC to match the Xbox One in terms of performance and stuff, and I think
Mhm.
they couldn't do it any cheaper than 900. But that's including everything like the UHD DVD player and stuff like that. And and really PCs, and I don't understand. This is coming from a PC gamer. I am primarily a PC gamer.
Yeah, Sam.
I don't understand the feud between PC gamers and console gamers in general.
I
Like
don't understand any of these feuds. Like,
no,
I mean,
neither do I.
it's
I
the thing is, it's a basic thing, and like everybody knows that with a PC, you can upgrade it to the point where it's better than anything.
yes. I mean
But
there.
that's only personal choice. But with a console, it's kind of like I haven't got the money to upgrade a computer, so I'm just going to get a console because I know it will run the games I like to play.
Exactly. And there's plenty of people in my circle of friends that I play games with, and I trust me, I've tried to pull them into the PC game into the gaming and stuff like that. They very much prefer a console, and I can understand why. I mean, you
To be
just you
honest, this is a brilliant segue.
oh
It's a perfect segue because with a console, it's so much easier to play racing games.
oh
And
yeah
with racing games, Forza is up there.
oh
But what I have an issue with Forza. It's kind of like they make a new one every flipping week. It's that annoying for me. Like a while ago, I bought Forza 6, and I was kind of in between buying Forza 6 or Need for Speed Rivals.
okay
And I was kind of in between about that. And then I decided, screw it, I'm just going to get, a normal racing game. I got it, and I'm like, wow, this is pretty good. This is interesting. And then I play multiplayer. And see how everybody is already decked out with like the most expensive cars in the game, got all gear, all everything. I still haven't played through the entire campaign. It is a bunch of content. It is a lot of content. But the thing is, with when it comes to racing games, I am not a fan just because of how many of them there are and how many times it's been done.
how many
That's
different
literally the only
racing
reason.
games or Forza games?
Forza and racing games overall. I feel as if the genre's just been like it's overdone like FIFA. It's been overdone for a while. It's terrible stuff. I mean, I understand, like, obviously, if you have, like, a massive boost of graphics, so now you can run it at, like, a mass amount of graphic settings, I understand that. But bringing out a new one every flipping year, it's kind of, I don't know, it kind of brings the value of the game down for me.
I get that. I do.
Yeah. It's
Um,
just the value of the game. I understand, like, how people enjoy it. I understand why people like them. But I just don't understand why you buy one every flipping year if it's just like a little bit different.
well, I see it's weird because last gen on the 360, I bought every Forza. I didn't touch Forza Horizon 1 or
Yeah,
2.
yeah. I don't see Forza Horizon as like like compared to Forza the actual game. If you're going to buy a Forza game, you buy it because you just want to race in a normal racing arena.
Yeah.
If you want to go for any off-road kind of games, I would recommend The Crew. The second one's coming out, by the way, of that one. That one's interesting. But yeah, I'd recommend those types of games and stuff over going for Forza Horizon. But that's only my personal opinion.
Yeah, I'm not even. I see. I didn't pay much attention to the first two Forza Horizons, so I'm not sure how much they even focused on
Mm.
like off-road. I know that I think the first Forza Horizon had an off-road or dirt type DLC pack, but I I was mainly like a Forza guy last generation. I have not touched one this generation. They have not sold me on Forza. And I'm not even, I mean, racers I
I've,
like, but I'm not hugely into them.
I don't think they even have to sell you on it, to be honest, because people like they're always like it where they'll just buy a game just if it's anything similar to the game that they've already got, they'll buy the next one and they'll buy the next one after that pointlessly. Like my brother has a friend who's bought every FIFA since the first one. I don't get that mentality. Why?
I think sports games are their own kind of ripoff.
Yeah.
I mean, at least with racing games, even with Forza, because like Forza and Forza Horizon, I don't think they can really be grouped up because, well, there's variety, but like I don't think they can be seen as the same series because they're made by two different teams and they're part of the same IP, I get. You
when
know
it
what I mean?
comes to racing, though, there's way more variety than football games. Like you think about a football game, you think of PES and FIFA.
Yeah.
Those are the only two you ever think of because those are the only ones that even matter in the competition. Because there's no competitors, because everybody knows FIFA's a massive company. How are you going to compete with a massive company like that? It's just the way it is. And there's a lot of those types of sport games like Madden and stuff. Everybody's always excited about that at E3, and I never get why. I really never get why. I'm not really a big football fan. Like, I mean, American football or just British football. Either way, I'm not really a big fan of either. I can get away with playing a couple of the matches of it, but overall, it's just not my thing. But yeah, I understand when it comes to racing games that people play them because they want something, they get something out of it from playing racing games. But with any sport game, other sport game, it's not really.
At least with the racing games, and this goes for every racing game. This goes for Forza, Gran Turismo, The Crew. They at least show marked improvements from game over game.
And also, there's modifications that you can make to your car. In any other sport game, you can't do that kind of stuff.
Yeah, and Forza 7, I gotta say, it's gonna be I'm buying it. That's gonna be the first Forza game that I buy, and ever since Forza 4, whenever that came out, I think that came out in 2012. So in 4 years, that's gonna be the first Forza Motorsports game because it looked phenomenal. What they showed looked really, and I'm not even talking about just because they showed it on the Xbox One X. It looks insane. And they made a lot of improvements, like dynamic weather, dynamic lighting, time of day, 700 cars.
But if for instance, if the game, if the game, you run it at like solid textures where they're only just colors, would you still get the game if the textures weren't as good and the lighting wasn't as good overall as a racing game?
Probably not.
I feel as if that's the only reason why people buy a lot of racing games. It's just for the look. Yeah, the graphics and the look. Whenever Xbox or EA or anything like that, whenever they show off a game, specifically any console game for anything, they always show off racing games because of the amount of just the way it looks.
They're good showpiece items.
Yeah, and also, do you want to know something hilarious? They always bring out a car at E3.
I can't stand that.
Last time it was the Ford GT.
Yeah.
I was laughing my ass off because I was like, I see people walk around and stuff from on YouTube and stuff, and I see them walk by the car and they're like, "That's my car," and it's like this insane joke over and over again. And I just, to be honest, that car, every time I see it, I want to burn it. I want to burn that car. I really do.
I can't, It was stupid when they did it with the Ford GT, and it was stupid when they did it now. I get why they do it because it's publicity, and the Xbox One S or X is a beast of a console, so let's show a beast of a car and bullshit. But it's all fluff. It is all fluff, like meant to just cater to either hardcore racing fanatics or the lowest common denominator that are just blown away by shiny objects. Like it just
Oh, look, it's a car. I
Yeah,
like cars.
I, you know,
That's,
I much
oh,
rather them have cut out that car bullshit and showed the game, which they did. You know, hey,
they could literally get a cardboard cutout of the exact same car and show it, and it would be no different. It would be no different. The reaction would still be the same. Oh, look, it's a new car. I like cars. That's
yeah.
literally the only reaction I get. Now I'm going to get a load of hate from all these these car game fans.
But you know, I think it would have been better off if they showed Forza running on the original Xbox One, the Xbox One X, and the PC, just like they
Yeah,
did with Forza Horizon 3 last year. I thought that was a much better demo where they showed actual, I'm assuming gameplay or simulated gameplay, but they showed it on a PC, on two different PCs, or no, two different Xboxes, a PC, and I think two PCs, and that was great. That was so much better than the bullshit they showed here because your game looks great. Let your game speak for itself. Cut out this bullshit fluff and marketing of we have a car right here in this game show. Like,
yeah.
just stupid.
It's just terrible. It is. I mean, I get why they do it, but I mean, personally, I couldn't care less if there's a car somewhere or if there's not a car somewhere.
Yeah.
It's all the same to me. But yeah, I feel as if we should move on from cars to giant mechs.
Oh, yeah.
Anthem. It looks pretty badass. It reminds me of Iron Man. It really does.
That's exactly what I
cool.
thought of. I was like, okay, this is Iron Man. This is what Iron Man should have been like in the any game.
Those old games.
Yeah.
Those old games. They were great back in the day, but they don't step up to what it's like now. These kind of games, I like open world games. A lot of people just say, oh, people just make anything open world because it just grabs people's attention. But I can honestly say that I would prefer an open world game to a game that isn't an open world game. Like, I just naturally prefer open world games. They're just that much better.
Well, especially in the type of genre that Anthem is chasing. It seems like they're chasing down the whole Destiny type crowd.
Yeah.
So an open world RPG loot type game that makes complete sense to be open world. You could, but I think it would limit the potential of having an open world or having a loot game, a loot RPG when you're running through linear levels.
It's like one of those RPG MMO things, but it's not an
Shared world.
MMO per se. It's kind of just a shared world. But the thing is, you're not exactly in the same world as your friend. You can invite them to your world. I feel as if that's what it is.
Yeah, that seems.
I don't think you just fly around and randomly see another mech. I feel as if this is you just purposefully invite your personal friends to play the game with you, or you can invite randoms. I feel as if that might be a feature. People looking for games, like in Division, basically. There might be a hub area where you see each other, and then when you go out that hub area, you can kind of be on your own.
The hub area is where you can find missions and stuff like that.
Raids and stuff. It looks really, really cool.
And there was I forgot what it was, like the Rift or something. Basically, the thing that they were all running towards. I wonder if that's like a raid or a shared challenge. Because there's multiple games there's multiple, I guess, MMO type games where it kind of matches you up with other players to handle a task.
It 100% reminds me of Division. With Division, you randomly see a mission, you go up to the mission sign itself, and then you can hold X or something, and then you can look for a match to play with people. And then you just go in there and it starts the mission automatically. And it's like the mission is just so seamless, and things like that. I feel as if that's what it is.
That's one thing I really dug in this, where it seemed like the missions, like the whole. Now, we got to talk about the scripting, the acting.
Yeah.
That definitely reminded me of an older Division demo where they had similar.
Yeah, 100%.
And It didn't. I mean, but that didn't really do anything for me.
It definitely also reminds me of the Rainbow Six Siege one. Flipping, oh
Yes.
yeah, I'm gonna blow this window. Everybody, I'm breaching and stuff. Oh,
Yeah.
no, it's that kind of thing. Nobody's ever like that.
No.
Like,
No.
in this game especially, nobody's as tactical as in like games like Rainbow Six Siege. Rainbow Six Siege, you spot people, you say they're in this place, they're in that place, right? But in this game, I feel as if it's just a hack and slash robot mech kind of just amazing. I feel as if it's pretty amazing either way. Even if it is just a disappointment overall, like a lot of games these days, I feel as if I could still have a lot of fun with it.
I think it's going to be amazing. I mean, I agree with you. Just even just looking past how good graphically it looks. I mean, at first, whenever they showed it, that was the highlight of the Microsoft conference for me. And at first, I was like, no way, this is real. No. And then I saw like uncompressed, non-YouTube footage, and then you start to see the little where they tuck the game back and they have compromises here and there. It's definitely real time. And there's been analysis and stuff and confirmation. I think it's running on Xbox One X. But
Wow.
it's just I cannot wait. Again, it's a co-op game and it's an
It's
open
one of
world
those
RPG.
amazing types of games that I would have really wanted when I was younger.
Oh God.
And it's became reality. It has become reality. Those types of games were things that I could never imagine. I'd just think, oh, there's no way you'd be able to play with other people back in the day, apart from if they were in your room. And nowadays, you can literally just play with anybody, anywhere in the entire world. It's insane. It's insane stuff.
And the one thing that, and this applies to some of the other games at E3, that I absolutely love is how alive the world seemed. And yes, that some of that stuff was scripted.
Yeah, it was 100% scripted.
It was 100% scripted, but they script it in a way because they want you to see what's possible. And
maybe they do it so that once you go into a certain zone, a scripted thing happens. Maybe.
So you know that you're entering that zone or something. That would kind of take me out.
It would be a bit annoying and like a bit stupid, but I mean it would make sense if they were to do something like that. Because like it makes me think of Destiny as well. Like when you walk up to an enemy, sometimes the AI is not smart enough to see you, and you can literally just walk past them and they don't even fire at you. That is the AI that I'm thinking of here.
Okay.
I kind of get that feeling that they're not actually gonna try anything. They're literally just I feel as if the creatures. I hope anyway that you're going to get a book or some sort of like, obviously you're a mech, so you'd have like a database or something inside yourself, right? Of every creature that you meet, everything about that creature, what their weaknesses are, things like that. Like if they're weak to fire, you use like fire weapons on them, fire-based weapons anyway, like flamethrowers probably could be in the game, you never know. That sort of stuff could be interesting.
Yeah.
That
would be awesome. I'm hoping, I'm expecting, I'll say, that I don't expect to have everything presented to me like it was presented in the demo in terms of the wildlife and stuff like that. But I do think, or at least hope, that when you're flying around, you could potentially come across that. You can potentially come across.
I really like open worlds with random events.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, one game that I've always wanted to happen, but it never has, is a police-based game where you play as like, it's an MMORPG where you play as a police officer and random events happen, and you go and like deal with them. That would be a really cool idea for a game.
Did you ever hear of All Points Bulletin?
No.
Yeah, it was an MMO that was developed by Real Time Worlds or Real Time Games, the same studio that made the first Crackdown, and it was Yeah, it didn't really turn out as planned because it was originally an MMO where there were two factions. There was the cops, and then there were basically the robbers or the criminals.
They do that
And
in a lot of games now.
the
I
two
don't get it.
factions.
Yeah, yeah, they do like factions in a lot of games. It's always faction-based stuff, and like a lot of games actually make it so that when you pick a faction, if your friend has not picked the same faction as you, you can never meet them.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
is the kind of stuff that annoys me.
yeah.
It's not great.
Yeah, well, the APB didn't turn out very well at
Oh.
all. You can actually download it for free on the Xbox if you want to torture yourself. It's horrible.
Oh wait. Is that that one that kind of looks a bit like Saints Row, but like
Yes,
the bootleg version of Saints Row?
yes. It looks like Saints Row. If
I heard about that. Yeah, I saw like comments on it saying how bad it was and like how once you have OP gear, you can barely like once you have OP gear, you can't really get it anyway because everybody else has OP gear, so you can never get your OP gear because you instantly get killed all the while.
Yeah,
Apparently.
it's like they try to program it with their toes, and I hate to shit on the developers like that because I'm sure they worked very hard.
Yeah. I always feel bad for developers when they get like hate on them and stuff. But when you clearly have not spent the time to polish your game and you're releasing it to the millions, especially if it's free to play. I mean, free to play ones you can joke about all you like because they're free to play. There's definitely going to be microtransactions everywhere. That's with every free to play game, really.
Well, yeah. Well,
That's a given, to be honest.
This one's definitely free for a reason.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, back to Anthem. I think it looks phenomenal. I cannot wait to try it. My big concerns are they going to have raids, like an actual raid type, gameplay segment? Because
I have no idea. I feel as if what I would like is some form of PvP, which they are definitely 100% going to do.
They're going to do that, and that's going to be. I can see that being amazing. Like
that's going to be pretty cool. Iron Man versus Iron Man.
Iron Man versus War Machine type thing,
Yeah, that's going to be great. Mortars everywhere. It'd just be amazing. That's
my other
6v6. A 6v6.
That would be insane. My one other concern is the amount of content.
Yeah, I have an issue with that as well. I feel as if there's going to be a lot of DLC for that game. There was a DLC release for Horizon Zero Dawn, but I didn't really play that.
I'm currently playing it, and it's amazing.
Oh.
So I'm looking forward to the DLC, but it's hard for me to get excited for it because I need to beat the game first.
Yeah, I hate it with those types of games where you have to beat the game to get to the DLC anyway.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do enjoy story-based games as well. They're pretty great. But yeah, onto the next one. Middle-earth: Shadow of War.
This looked good. This looked really, really good. And
do you want me to tell you about it? I've been watching videos on it non-stop. Right. So what you get? So you see in the trailer, you've got that cocky orc guy, and he's hilarious, and you're like, wow, this guy's really great. There's a bit of a thing that I found pretty sad. He's not a character that you'll be able to find specifically unless you're really lucky, because it's all randomized. It is insanely randomized. So you get one bit where it picks what the person looks like. You got one bit that picks whether they're a cursed mystic or whatever. You got one part that picks their weapon. You got one part that picks their weaknesses and strengths. You've got like loads of different parts that all get randomized together to create a character, including the voice. The voice is so random. So it'll be very hard to find that character in the game, which is the one sad thing that I found. But the sieges look amazing. Apparently, when your friend dies in the battle in a siege, they drop loot. That friend of yours will never come back. Oh wait, yes he will. I forgot. They can come back from the dead, and also their friends can come and find you and say, why didn't you save him? And then start a war with you.
No shit.
There's so much stuff. You can send a death threat to an orc that levels the orc up, so then you get better gear from that orc when you kill it. You basically have to create like an army of people that will just stab you in the back every step of the way. It's insane.
I like the one gameplay segment I saw. I don't think it was during Microsoft's presser, where I don't remember what the character's name is, but it seemed like he was hunting you down because he was like part cyborg.
Oh, him, yeah.
And
he basically the guy killed him before, and the ones that you kill can come back, and he came back and he was trying to seek vengeance.
Yeah, so that makes me think that enemies that you've defeated can potentially come back and hunt you down.
Yeah, and 10 times stronger.
Yeah, which is
and by the way,
pretty awesome.
When you die in a siege, the person that kills you levels up. If it was a minion, one of those randoms that killed you, right? They turn into an actual leader or warlord. This is like how the system works. And if you get killed by a warlord, that warlord levels up massively.
So
the siege gets harder every time you die.
Okay, so you still respawn or go back to a checkpoint. But
basically, but everybody remembers, and they'll say stuff like, "Wait, I killed you."
Oh no, shit.
Stuff like that. It's great, isn't it? It's amazing. I've been looking at this so much, and it's still got all the skill trees and everything like that of like the old Shadows of Mordor game, but they've really built on this Nemesis system.
Yeah,
and it's amazing. It's amazing stuff.
I've never really understood the Nemesis system. It's always just seemed like a military strategy type politics system.
Yeah, it's kind of a politics system. It's very interesting though. It's very detailed. They go into loads of different areas, and also when I said about the customization, those aren't the only things. There's also the part of what tribe they come from, and that affects when you turn them into the overlord of that castle. It affects what the castle looks like, and what's in the castle. It's an amazing game. And I have looked into it so much, and I really want that game. It's an insane game.
Is this a direct sequel from the first one?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I have the first one, I just haven't played through it yet, and
I haven't played through it either, but I don't even have it. So.
Oh, it's always been an interesting game. There's just too many good games, not enough time.
I don't think they had that big of a Nemesis system in the last one, but they saw that people liked it. So they expanded on it massively and made it like the focal point of the entire game. But yeah, it's incredible. There's certain people that are scared of certain things. They'll be scared of spiders and things. You can summon in the Shelob's brood. That's it. And you can summon in drakes, which are dragons and things. It's insane stuff. And you can control dragon. It's all cool. It's all cool stuff. It's amazing.
I'm loving the scale that they're bringing with this game. Because it really does seem like a massive army taking over a castle. And depending on the people, the generals that you bring along with you, the battle can play out in different ways. And that is awesome. And I don't remember if it was an older gameplay segment or if it was one of the ones from E3 where you can have spies.
Yeah. You can also the people that you get to send death threats to certain people, you can also get them to tell you if there are any spies in your group, and things like that. And you've got to always check. Even the most friendly guy in your group, even your best companion, can just turn against you instantly. And
That's
if
awesome.
you do not, and also if you do not pick your friend up and they bleed out or something, they will come back and they will want revenge because you didn't help them. It's really in depth and it looks amazing, and everybody's gameplay experience will be so much different. The base story will probably all be the same with a couple of bits that are different, but the main open world game is so different for everybody. It's so randomized. You can there's even bits inside the castle where if you shoot them, they're called a drake trap or something. If you shoot the drake trap, a wild drake just appears out of nowhere. But the thing is, if you bring a drake into a fight, it doesn't fight for you. It doesn't fight for the enemy team. It's just chaos everywhere. It will just kill whoever, and then you can control it and then make it so it only kills enemies later on. But that's only if you tame it. You can tame it very easily.
Yeah, I was really surprised in the gameplay segment that you were able to, I don't know if it's taming or you're able to control and add to your roster the guy that came back from the dead to hunt you down.
And you can also turn it into a story mechanic where you shame them. It makes their level lower. Then they're sent off. You can also fight them to the death. Necromancers, by the way, in the same siege, they can come back twice. If you kill them in the siege.
Huh.
So Necromancer Warlords, if you kill them, they might come back in a couple of seconds and just try and kill you again, and they'll say, nice try, or something like that, which is great. It's great concept. I really like how in-depth this game is. But I don't want to talk about this game way too much, because I could talk about this game for hours.
No, yeah, there's definitely a whole lot. Is that coming out next year?
It's this year, October.
Oh, shit.
I know, it was going to be just before October, but they said, we're just going to polish the game a bit more. So they added an extra month on.
Oh, that's right. I remember. They just recently did that.
Yeah.
Oh, well. That just means I have to beat the first one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm probably not going to even beat the first one. Apparently, it's been rumored that they're going to make it so that from the old game, you can use the save from that on
nice.
This one. But I don't know. This is not confirmed. This is just rumors. But it would be pretty cool. It would add to the amount of interestingness to the game. Because it is a really, really interesting game. But I think we should move on, because if I continue to talk about this game, I'm going to explode.
No, that's fine. That's fine.
But yeah, the next game, Assassin's Creed Origins. I don't know. I'm sick of Assassin's Creed now.
Yeah, I mean, it looked pretty, and I got to give them credit. When the rumors or the leaks came out that it was going to be in Egypt, I was kind of concerned with the verticality of it.
Yeah, it doesn't make much sense, because they've been making it like more and closer to our time, and now all of a sudden they've gone to Egypt.
Well, yeah, I think they trapped themselves in a corner, because I don't know everything of how the story is unfolded, because I'm still on Assassin's Creed 3, which is why it's hard for me to get excited for this. I can't play a later game without playing through all the prequels.
The thing is, the 1, 2, and 3, those ones are just a group of them, and they don't mean anything to do with any of these other ones.
That's what I understand. They kind of did a departure of the side story, if that makes sense.
Yeah, because nobody really liked playing as that kid.
Miles.
Yeah,
I think.
Yeah, nobody liked playing as Desmond. Everybody just wanted to play as the characters. I couldn't notice whether you do actually still do the whole Animus thing. I know with with Black Flag you do.
Yeah,
with
I think the Animus.
Unity, I have no idea. And with Syndicate, I didn't really see too much of.
I think the Animus still plays a part, but it's playing much more of a minor role, which is kind of a shame, because you can see where they're going with it, where it was, like you said earlier, it was moving closer and closer to modern day, and then I imagine that they would have had this epic clash in modern day times between the Assassins and the
Templars.
Templars. Thank you. So that's kind of a shame if they moved away from that.
Did you watch the Assassin's Creed movie?
No.
It is terrible. It was a terrible movie. Do not go and see it. It will ruin Assassin's Creed for you.
Well,
some people are like, oh yeah, it's great. No, it wasn't. It was terrible.
No.
It's like the actors didn't even play the game. Oh wait, they didn't.
Origins looks good though. I like how they're adding the RPG aspect. Everyone has different levels. I like how they're adding it seems like it's more dynamic in terms of the equipment. Now you don't just have to save money and go to a store and buy it at a store to upgrade your equipment. You can
Yeah.
find it from looting and finding treasure and stuff like that. This is definitely a different departure, but not so different that it's going to alienate the fans, I think.
I feel as if the scale's gone up. I don't know whether this is
Oh,
just me, but I feel as if the map
massively.
scale, yeah.
If
I
you
mean,
if you've seen at the end of Ubisoft's press conference, they played a half hour of it afterwards, and they
hmm,
showed off the map, and it's like a mini continent. It
yeah.
it is massive, and I
You
really
can you
hope.
can ride boats as well. That's a big
Yep.
feature. I really like that thing. The thing is, what I don't get, and I was kind of weirded out by, was the fact that you could become the eagle. I I I mean, everything else about it, I can be like, oh, okay, yeah, no, that's not realistic, but I mean, it could be. And then it comes to, oh, yeah, you can actually become an eagle. That no, you can't. That's a stupid idea.
Yeah,
Why would you?
you're kind of looking through your eagle's eyes
And
or
it
some shit
makes it
like
and it
that.
makes it so easy. You can spot enemies with it easily. It's like a an Egyptian version of a drone. It's
Yeah,
that it's on
yeah.
that level.
I imagine that they're hoping that the difficulty is leveled out by the leveling system. Because even if
Yeah,
you know where an enemy is, if they're, because in the demo they showed you trying to going up against a level 25, and I think you were 21. He got
yeah, and
smashed. He got
yeah, he got
absolutely
absolutely
obliterated.
destroyed.
Yeah. So
Oh,
I'm thinking that that might be a way that they're trying to balance it out, because if you don't
mm,
know, there's no way for you to scope out the area
yeah.
and at least have an idea of what you're up
I'm
against.
I'm I'm also hoping that there aren't many boat-based battles, considering when they did do boat-based battles, they literally just shot it with a fiery arrow and it instantly just went up in flames.
Oh
I
yeah,
It's like what?
that's cool, but I'm hoping that's not
It's
a
too
big.
easy. It's
Yeah.
too easy.
Uh,
If there are, I understand if there's one or two enemies that, oh yeah, it will give you the chance to burn the ship. But I don't want whole missions to be based around burning ships.
no.
It seems a bit boring, just burning ships. I mean, yeah, it's fun, but one or two enemies, yeah, but an entire fleet of just rowboats, it seems kind of stupid.
It's going to
But
be
yeah,
interesting to see how they transition from however way the story starts in Origins into the Assassins versus Templars.
yeah.
Assuming that they're not making Origins a trilogy type story arc like they did with Assassin's Creed 2, how they broke down Assassin's Creed 2 in three different parts. Um, if Origins is its own game and it leads into the main series, then
Hmm.
I'm really interested how they go from, because you're the first assassins, right? Or assassin.
I
I
have
thought
no idea.
I thought they said that.
Probably if you are the first assassin in Egypt or something like that, I don't think you're going to be starting one of the cults that are started beforehand. Um, yeah, I think you're just going to be a singular assassin, and you aren't going to make any more assassin followers in that game. Because if you do, it kind of doesn't make much sense. I mean, with a lot of the games like Assassin's Creed Brotherhood and things, there was a lot to do with,
Training different assassins
yeah,
and stuff.
yeah, and to do stuff for you.
Yeah.
Uh, Same with Assassin's Creed 3 and stuff. There's a lot of that. You got like you can make allies and things and just make them do stuff for you. Um, but I don't know. I don't know. It's not my thing, Assassin's Creed anymore. It had its day. It had a chance to become something great. Well, it didn't really, because it's kind of going back in time further and further in it, or like closer to the future. And I mean, you can only do every period once, and I don't know how many they're going to be able to do before everything gets weird. I kind of want there to be another medieval one. I think
It was a
the
medieval
first
one.
one. Well, no, the first one and the second one were like they were in like Spain and stuff, but like there was a lot of castles involved and stuff,
Okay,
like
I get,
Brotherhood and
yeah,
stuff.
I see what you mean.
Um, but I want one that's purely medieval with knights, kings. You have to go and assassinate somebody for a king. I mean, that could be an interesting story arc and stuff, and it might get me interested in Assassin's Creed again. But the Egyptian side of Assassin's Creed seems too primitive for me. I mean, I like it when it's a lot of primitive, like Assassin's Creed 3 with the bow and everything, but I don't like it where they're in between being primitive and being really, kitted out. I don't want there to be this blurred line, like there is right now. I don't know. It's one of those games. It's kind of like you played through the entire series, so they expect you to play this game.
Yeah, yeah.
A
Well, I
lot of
mean,
games don't have to try these days. That's an issue.
at least they're trying to mix it up a little bit because I do appreciate that they're trying at least some new things. Because before I think it was every year they're coming out with an Assassin's Creed game, and then after the last, it was Assassin's Creed Infinite just got slammed. It was buggy.
Wait. That was when the last one was Syndicate.
The last one was Syndicate, and before that was Infinite. And
Wait, I don't even remember Infinite. I remember Unity.
Unity, I'm so sorry. Yeah,
That's
Unity,
fine.
that's what I'm thinking of. I got that thing in my head. I'm like, this isn't sounding right, but I'm going to keep calling it this anyways.
Yeah,
And
I was like, 1 minute, Infinite. This could be one. I haven't played all the games.
yeah, Unity. That's my bad. That was the buggy turd that just. And even if you look past the bugs, it got
It was
slammed.
really annoying with Unity because they added multiplayer and then like in the next game they got rid of it. The thing is, I didn't like the multiplayer in the old games where it's just like a little arcade mode. I
No.
like the multiplayer where you actually do missions as like a group of assassins.
Hmm.
That multiplayer is the multiplayer that we all wanted. And I'm sure I can speak for everybody when I say that. Because a lot of people would prefer to be able to do missions with their friends over just fighting their friends and earning a couple of points and then winning the round or something. That it doesn't seem like the sort of open worldy feel of the main story of Assassin's Creed. It doesn't seem very similar at all.
Yeah, earlier multiplayer modes like the competitive, it just seemed like they threw it on there because you had to have a multiplayer mode. I never
Yeah.
got into it. I knew some people that did, but it just never did it for me. I mean, at least with Origins, they're trying. I don't know what they're doing with the multiplayer. I'm sure they're going to have something multiplayer, but at least when it comes to the core gameplay and structure of it, they're trying something new. Because Unity and even Syndicate, it
Hmm.
followed the mold too much. Because Syndicate reviewed well. It seemed like they learned a lot from Syndicate over
Yeah.
Unity, but it followed too much of the template, and it seems
Yeah.
like they wanted to shake it up. And they gave Assassin's Creed Origins, I think, 2 years or 3 years develop. It's been in development for 3 or 4 years, from what I understand.
Mm.
So I hope it does good. I hope, but yeah, I can't get into it until I play through the 4 other Assassin's Creed games or whatever.
Yeah.
It's
They
another
they
Assassin's Creed.
did they did do like a little bit of World War Two in was it World War Two or World War One in Assassin's Creed Syndicate? They did a little section where you went into the future.
Oh, really?
Uh, yeah, like a little bit of a section, but it wasn't that great. You could like actually get on artillery cannons and stuff in that one as well. It's insane. And then but they did make it so that you could go back there whenever you wanted. You could go between Victorian and World War, which is great. It's
Oh,
great stuff. I don't know. Assassin's Creed's one of those games that it's not for everybody, but it's one of those games that you have to complete in your lifetime. You have to at least have completed one. But yeah, that's an Assassin's Creed game for you.
there's so many out
Uh,
there. Of course, everyone's got to play at least one.
yeah, I know. It's
You
great.
you
It's
can't
great.
look in a game direction without seeing an Assassin's Creed in the last 10 years.
So yeah, we'll move on to Bethesda's stuff. Bethesda released Wolfenstein 2. that were not released but announced. Wolfenstein 2. It looks interesting. I don't know whether I'm going to be playing it. I've got a friend that's like really into Wolfenstein, but I don't know. I never played the old ones, so there was probably a lot of references in it that I just didn't get. But the trailer looked decent. I really like the whole idea of, the whole world's been taken over by all these horrible people, and then, you have to kind of get like, I don't know, you have to kind of kill them. I don't know exactly what you're trying to do. I feel as if you're trying to get to the leader, kill the leader, and then everything's going to be fine and dandy like in every game.
Well,
but that's how every game is.
In the previous Wolfensteins, the original one I never got into. I'm sure it was amazing back in the early '90s, I think. But yeah, I never got into it. The Wolfenstein that came out on the PC, PS2, and Xbox, I love that. That was awesome. I'm playing through slowly but surely the last Wolfenstein, the New Order, I think. That and basically in the current storyline, what Wolfenstein 2 also follows is that the Nazis won, and it's absolutely phenomenal.
Is it just me, or does the trailer for Wolfenstein 2 remind you of Doom?
Yeah, I can see
it. It kind of reminds me of like the whole Doom hack and slash kind of game.
I can see. Well, I mean, they're kind of built off the same mold, where they're both, run and gun type games, and I'm more than fine with that.
Yeah, I'm fine with it. It looks really decent. I like a lot of the creative weapons in it as well. They seem interesting.
The weapons seem awesome. There's a lot of creativity there. It looked like there's a part because it looks like you wake up again in a coma. I don't know how the first one ends, and I don't want anybody to spoil it for me, but it looks like you wake up in a coma, and it looks like you break yourself out of the hospital shooting down Nazis while in a wheelchair.
Yeah, it did. I thought you were in a wheelchair as well, but I didn't know.
If they can play that off well, that is insane, and I cannot wait to play. The story in this seems like it's great. The writing
does also. I like games that they're serious, but they also have humor to them.
Yeah.
Any game with decent humor is good. It's good in my books. But yeah, the humor in that game is insane. Like right at the end with the guy on LSD.
I saw that too. I was like, wait. Is he dropping acid? And then all of a sudden you see the little colorful creature. I'm like, oh my god, yeah, he's tripping balls. That is great.
And at the beginning, apparently that is a mixture of a monkey and a cat.
Wait, what?
It's got the head. You know where like he's clicking through the different channels and stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's literally a mixture of a monkey and a cat. It's got the cat's head cut off and like attached to like a monkey's body. Apparently, I watched a discussion afterwards on the after thingy.
That game just seems like it's going to be batshit insane, and I cannot
It looks
wait.
like a ton of fun. Like, I mean, I like my games, and this one seems decent for what it is. I mean, I'm not really always a big fan of the whole, hack and slash shooter kind of games, but this one actually has some form of story to it that could be interesting and be fun.
Yeah, and even the short little, I guess, live action cutscene that they had playing it, where it had the little girl shopping, and then it had the big dino, or the big metal dog and stuff.
Yeah.
You can see the type of humor that that I'm hoping that they're going to have in the game. And
the thing is with Bethesda, I've always said this. I've always loved their music in the games. Their soundtracks have been amazing. Diamond City Radio and Fallout 4. This one, they're so accurate with the type of like time frame that they want. Like when they want it.
And Doom is another perfect. The music in Doom just makes me want to, shove a shotgun up a demon's ass and blow it away while I'm ripping the head off of another demon. The music is really, really on point.
They're always good with the music. I mean, I don't know. I might get a little hate for this, but I don't know whether I like Skyrim's music. I kind of like some of it, but not all of it. Some of it, like I mean, more of their recent games seem a lot better with the music. I know I have listened to the Skyrim soundtrack, and I mean, it gets annoying after a while, but like a lot of the Fallout 4 music, I literally know all the words to the songs now. It's literally that bad for me. Because the thing is, when you don't have music playing in the background, it's actually kind of eerie. So I have to play the music, otherwise I can't get through the game. I have that issue with games. I can't play through it if it's so eerie.
If it's too eerie?
Yeah, if it's too eerie and stuff and like too creepy and stuff. 'Cause you know the bass soundtrack for the game? It has these little like, I don't know, it has these little noises in the background that aren't actually in the main game itself. So like with the bass soundtrack of the game, it kind of does the odd jump scare with the music in the background.
Okay.
Just whilst you're playing. So I put on Diamond City Radio and it makes it all seem calm. Ooh, so calm. But yeah, there's only a couple more things that we need to talk about. Fallout 4 and Doom are in VR.
Yeah.
Insane stuff.
That's both a good and a bad
free
thing.
roam. And it's free roam, which is the weird thing. I don't know how free roam it's going to be though.
Fallout is free roam. Fallout is, from what I understand, Fallout 4 VR is the entire game in VR. So
that's got to be hard to play.
That could be absolutely amazing.
There's a lot of missions that are like really tough if you can't move around very quickly.
Well,
and having to turn around quickly as you like jump to another place, it's going to be kind of difficult.
Well, I imagine that they're going to have it where, because how I understand that VR works with those kinds of controls is, I think you got a joystick for your movement, because they're not going to have you like running in place or anything like that. So they got the joysticks.
Oh no. What they have for the movement, they have a thing that they kind of use as like, you know when you're shooting a gun or something, they have that on the controller that makes it so that a beam comes out of it, that's kind of like arced a bit, that will make you go into another place. So you basically teleport around.
Oh, you're talking about Doom.
I think I don't know whether it's Fallout as well. Oh wait, no, with Fallout I've seen, yeah.
Yeah, Fallout you have free control, and that's
that seems like a big thing then.
Regarding Doom, Doom VFR, I think is what it's called. Come on, you basically highlight an area and you teleport to that.
Doom's all about like parkour and things as well. Like, there's a lot to do with that.
The big thing about Doom VFR, I think, is a huge mistake, because the big thing about Doom is your arsenal and movement. Like, you just constantly have to stay moving to stay alive in Doom, because if you sit still, you get swarmed on or you get shot the hell up. And Doom VFR just goes completely against what makes Doom Doom. You know, you can't have constant moving, can't have constant strafing. You basically teleport to a new area and you shoot some bad guys. It might as well be, like what do you call it? Like a carnival type game.
Where
you're going down a tunnel and you're shooting pop-ups. It just Fallout VR, and to an extension, they also announced Skyrim VR.
I don't know how the looting system is going to work in Fallout 4 VR.
How does it work in the original Fallout? I haven't played Fallout 4, so.
Well, you kind of go up to the thing and then you press A on the item to move it into your inventory. I don't know how that's going to work because there's not that many buttons on the controller. Do you have to shoot stuff? I don't know.
I can see, because they're going to be using those pointer controls, so I can see you just pointing over and either dragging and dropping, or just putting the cursor using the pointer on the item and just hit like add to inventory or something.
Yeah, something like that. Maybe even you have to touch it or something with your other controller.
Yeah,
or something.
you maybe a grab and drag type thing. I'm sure they're going to work it out just fine.
Yeah, it all seems great though for Fallout 4. I mean, Doom, less so, but that's only because of the movement issues.
Yeah, it seems great until you learn that you have to spend $60 on it again.
Ah,
Yeah, I don't understand why Bethesda. Like,
that's terrible.
I'm sure that it took a massive update, or it took a lot of work, but release a $20 update for the original owners.
Why would you buy an entire game again just to play it in VR? And it's not even going to be as easy to play in VR as it is going to be to play just with a normal controller.
I can imagine so many people throwing up in a game like that too.
Yeah.
I mean, it's great that they're supporting VR. The VR's kind of gone up and down in terms of hyper popularity, and I can see it gradually now that the hype for it kind of leveled out. That all of that happened last year where there was a major VR push. I can still see it trending upwards, but it's never going to hit truly mass market levels because there's too many barriers for the mass audience. It requires you to put on goggles or a headset. A lot of it requires you to have like a special type controller or sensors in the room that require a certain amount of free space, and then there's of course the cost of entry.
The thing is, the people that they're advertising it for, those types of people aren't going to really have much space in their house. Like, the marketing team's gone for, like, I don't know, what have they gone for? I think, they've definitely done well with the marketing, but I don't think they've, like, because a lot of people, they just don't have the space. They'd like to do VR, but they just don't have the space in the house to do VR.
Well, I think their marketing are catering to the existing VR market.
Yeah,
because those people are hungry for new games and like full-fledged games.
They usually just get demos half the time.
Yeah, they get demos or tech demos or concept demos and stuff like that.
There's the one for Portal 2 that they made. That was
really?
Like just they made a VR one for that. That was pretty interesting. You could see inside of like Atlas's core and stuff. It's pretty interesting. It kind of expands it out and stuff, and you can see different parts and things. And there's a lot of stuff that you can hear GLaDOS, I think, or is it? I don't know who's the other one. I think it's GLaDOS. Either one of them.
Yeah, I don't know.
I
think it'll do well. It's just I don't think. Maybe if the VR market was larger, they wouldn't be charging $60 for it. Maybe they're charging $60
I feel as if that's the only reason why.
Because the market's so small, so that's the only way to make up for it. But it's still just a kick in the nuts. Release an update. Don't make people buy the same game twice. Or at least if you're going to do that, then at least let people know about it ahead of time.
With Xbox One X, they're like, "Oh, this is our new system, right?" And then they immediately say something like, "Yeah, you're going to be able to play Minecraft in 4K." It's just hilarious.
Yeah. It's the crazy thing is Minecraft is probably one of the biggest games that they could have shown in terms of mass market appeal.
Honest.
Especially when you consider that Minecraft, this new version of Minecraft, this Minecraft update, is going to allow you to play with people on the PC, the Nintendo Switch, mobile. I mean,
not going to lie, most of the people playing on Xbox are all kids. Like, most of them. They're all pretty young. They're all, kind of online, offline kind of people. I don't think... I don't know. I feel, I
don't know what kind of people you run into. I
always run into like really young kids. I remember I was playing Overwatch and I ran into like I always join the chat just to see if anybody's there or anybody's around and stuff. Join the chat and I hear this little kid just going, "I like Hanzo because he has a bow" and stuff like that. And I don't want to be stuck in like a chat with that sort of person just 24/7. That voice gets on my nerves.
Yeah, it's.
I mean, it kind of.
That's why I don't do game chat all that often because.
Yeah.
You just hear "Hi guys," and just like
when I first played Rainbow Six Siege, I heard like an Irish and a Scottish guy talking to each other. That was pretty hilarious. Like they just start arguing about random stuff. And then like then the squeaker came in. Obviously, that's what they're called. And then just started just screaming at everybody out of nowhere. Oh, it's terrible, terrible stuff on Xbox these days. For me, anyway. For me, I think it might be different in America.
It's like
probably.
that everywhere you go. No, you either run into you could run into the random cool people, but it's a lot of it is assholes and a lot of it is kids. Like I was playing Player Unknown Battlegrounds just yesterday, and pretty much anybody talking in the game chat was an asshole. A straight asshole.
Yeah.
There were no kids, but they're straight assholes.
With those types of games, with H1Z1 and PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, games like that, you never meet anybody nice.
And it was on the PC.
Just a fact.
So it's not like they were any more of a mature audience, you know. It's the internet. It's the nature of the internet. Since
I mean, it could be worse. You could be playing a MOBA. Those games are even worse. I play MOBAs and I just meet a really toxic person every 5 seconds I play a game. It's just insane. Like I assume at the beginning they're like, "Oh yeah, hi" and stuff like that, and then later on in the game they're like, "I hate you. I hate my entire team. My team sucks." Stuff like that. It's terrible. It's terrible stuff. But yeah, I think we should get back on topic.
Yeah.
But yeah, the next game, Spider-Man for the Sony stuff.
Yeah, that was the game of the show for me with them, and that's how they ended it. And they ended it in a perfect way. Like that was the one game that I was hoping they showed, and they showed it in a big way, and it looked phenomenal. It looked absolutely amazing. So I cannot wait. It sucks that I have to wait till next year.
Yeah, I mean, I did you play any of the older Spider-Man games?
Yeah,
like
I played Spider-Man 2 on the Xbox was the big one, and that's the one that I think everyone remembers fondly.
I played Spider-Man 3 on PlayStation 2. That was good. That was good stuff.
Really?
Yeah, it was actually surprisingly good. It wasn't even graphically intense or anything, but I mean, it was a solid game. The swinging in that game was some of the best I've seen in all of the games. There was one type of like getting across the map that I didn't really get. It's where you like shoot a web forward and then you pull on it and then you go like faster in the air.
Yeah.
But it doesn't make sense because it's not actually touching anything. It's just touching air.
That's the one thing. Yeah, I remember that. There's some older games that definitely fell for that. This one though, it's completely physics based. You have your web has to actually cling to something, which is awesome. Yeah, the demo looked phenomenal. I've seen people use it as a negative where the fighting mechanics kind of take inspiration from the Batman series in fighting.
I don't know whether you saw on the show floor. I mean, we didn't go, but on the show floor there was there's a lot of really cool things that people have made out of I don't even know what they're made out of, but they're like props from the games made in real life. So that with Spider-Man, they did the helicopter with Spider-Man on top, and the helicopter just crashing and stuff. It looked insane. It's the same with Shadows of Mordor as well. They did a dragon and stuff. It's really cool stuff.
Nice.
On the show floor. Yeah, I'm really excited for Spider-Man though. I feel as if it's going to be. It's going to give memories of like when we used to play the old Spider-Man games.
That's what I'm hoping. That's exactly what I'm hoping.
100% hoping that. But I don't know who the villain is in this one. I don't know who he's going to be.
Yeah.
I have a very bad feeling about this.
I mean,
because a lot of the Spider-Man villains could be really bad, unless they're doing all of them.
I think they said they're going to do a good handful because there was Wilson Fisk and there was.
Fisk, yeah, that's weird because that's more like Daredevil's kind of area, isn't it? Is it Daredevil?
Yeah, well, it was both Daredevil and Spider-Man. They both tangled with him.
Right.
And I'm trying to think of who the other villain they showed in the trailer, Fusion Man or something like that.
Oh, yeah, they showed somebody. I don't even know who they were.
Yeah, it's the swinging looks awesome. I hope they don't rely too much on QTEs. The one thing that I want to say though they nailed is the parkour running and jumping. Like that's the one thing that no other game just got right. In all the movies and cartoons and comic books and stuff, you see Spider-Man like swinging, between buildings and stuff,
It's like
and leaping off of buildings.
When you think about specific games for certain things, like when it comes to wall running, you think of Titanfall. When it comes to parkour and stuff, you think of Spider-Man or any types of those games. But those are like the base layers for what people really go for when they're going for that sort of stuff. Even Overwatch said they go for with Lucio's wall run, they went for trying to go for Titanfall style wall run, and they said theirs still doesn't look just as good as Titanfall's, which is insane to say about your own game. But yeah, that's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. There's parts in the demo where you see him like going through, like a hole was punched in a billboard or something in a sign, and he goes right through it. And I thought that was scripted. And Stevenson, I think, someone from the development team said that no, that the animation is dynamic. He will dynamically kind of leap over or leap through the environment based on how it's formed, because there's certain destructive things. And I loved how.
Wait, does that mean like it's like Assassin's Creed? When you find one of those buildings with like a room in it, and you just run through the entire room, like that kind of thing?
Yeah, well, it's like procedural. Like the animation. So whenever you land or you go leaping through something, it's based on, I think, the geometry pretty much of what he's leaping through. And if you watch the demo again, you'll see him kind of like narrowing his body through a specific hole. And I was like, that seemed too specific. But no, that's really how it's going to be in the game.
I do like the specifics of his web shooters, though.
Yes.
The way they like when that was it a crane? Yeah, when that was falling or something. The way he just like kind of scoops it up on one side and scoops up on the other side. He keeps doing that with webs. That just makes so much more sense than, oh yeah, I shoot a web at this and I shoot a web at the wall. Yeah, that doesn't make as much sense as like actually trying to get a real grasp on the
crane or the object.
Yeah, on the crane. Yeah, a lot more physics based, I feel, and they've actually thought about things in this one rather than just thinking, hey, we have the rights to Spider-Man, let's screw it up. That's how a lot of games see things.
Yeah,
I mean, Sony usually sees it that way with the movies.
Yeah, well, yeah, but Insomniac, man, they are doing so good. I like how he incorporates the web slinging in the fighting. I like how there's contextual things so that you can use the environments, because that's something that you would think Spider-Man would actually do. And it all fits really well. It looks really well. It's one of the games that, by the time it launches, I really hope I have a Pro and a 4K TV to really enjoy it on.
Yeah, I to be honest, I think that's it for first podcast. This is what we're going to be doing for like the next couple of. I think we're going to be doing them every 2 weeks or so, something like that. We might change it later on. But if there's anything you've been excited about, please leave a comment saying what, or if you want us to cover anything, that too. But yeah, is there anything else you want to say?
No. Thanks for watching and thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks, and I'll see you later, guys.
All right, later, guys.